You wake up, you take your medication, you try to eat reasonably well, and yet your blood pressure is still high. It doesn't make sense. You follow the advice, you attend your checkups, and still that number refuses to come down. Now, this is where many people begin to feel frustrated. Some even start to think, maybe this is just how it is now. But in my experience, that is rarely the full story. There are often hidden factors quietly working against you, things most people overlook for years. Let me explain something first. I've spent decades treating patients in their 50s, 60s, and beyond. I've seen patterns repeat themselves over and over again. And while I will share my professional perspective here, this is not personal medical advice. Your situation is unique, and you should always discuss changes with your own physician or healthcare provider. If you find this kind of thoughtful, experience-based explanation helpful, you may consider subscribing. Not for quick fixes, but for understanding what's really happening in your body. Now, let's talk about what you might be feeling. Many people notice subtle signs before they even look at the numbers. A sense of pressure in the head, occasional dizziness, fatigue that doesn't quite go away, or sometimes nothing at all. And that's the dangerous part, because high blood pressure is often silent. And this is where most people make a critical mistake. They assume it's just aging. Yes, I'm older now. Of course my blood pressure is higher. But that assumption can prevent you from seeing what's actually driving the problem. Let's go through some of the most common and often hidden reasons. First, chronic stress. Not the obvious kind. I'm talking about low-level, constant tension, financial concerns, family worries, health anxieties. This kind of stress keeps your nervous system slightly activated all day. And over time, that raises your blood pressure more than you might expect. Now, here's what many don't realize. Even if you feel used to it, your body never truly adapts. Second, poor sleep quality. Not just how long you sleep, but how well. Frequent waking, shallow sleep, sleep apnea. I've had patients who insisted they slept 7 to 8 hours, but when we looked closer, their sleep was fragmented and ineffective, and this alone can keep blood pressure elevated. Third, excess sodium in unexpected places. People often say, I don't add salt to my food, but sodium hides in processed foods, bread, cheese, even sauces. And over time, this hidden intake can quietly push blood pressure higher. This is where most people underestimate their daily exposure. Fourth, lack of movement. Not necessarily exercise, just movement. Sitting for long periods affects circulation, vascular tone, and metabolic health. Even if you exercise once a day, being sedentary the rest of the time matters. The body is designed to move regularly, not just occasionally. Fifth, medication interactions. This one surprises many people. Certain medications, pain relievers, decongestants, even some supplements, can raise blood pressure. And, when combined, the effect can become more noticeable. I have seen cases where adjusting a medication made a measurable difference within weeks. Sixth, weight distribution, not just weight itself. It's not always about how much you weigh, but where the weight is carried. Abdominal fat, in particular, affects hormones and blood vessels in ways that raise blood pressure. Even modest changes here can have a meaningful impact. Seventh, dehydration. Now, this may sound counterintuitive, but when the body lacks sufficient fluids, blood vessels can constrict, and certain hormones become more active, raising pressure. Many older adults simply don't drink enough water throughout the day. Now, those are the more visible factors, but there are deeper layers. For example, arterial stiffness. As we age, blood vessels naturally lose some elasticity, but lifestyle factors can accelerate this process. And once vessels become stiff, pressure rises more easily, even with small triggers. Another factor, insulin resistance. Even in people without diabetes, subtle changes in blood sugar regulation can affect blood pressure control, and this is often overlooked entirely. So, what ties all of this together? It's not one single cause, it's the accumulation. Small manageable factors, quietly stacking over time. And this is why many people feel confused. They're doing some things right, but a few hidden issues remain unaddressed. Now, let's bring this into something practical. If I were to simplify this into a framework, I would focus on 5 areas. First, awareness. Start tracking your blood pressure at consistent times. Patterns matter more than single readings. Second, reduce hidden stress. Not by eliminating problems, but by creating small moments of calm throughout the day. Third, improve sleep quality. Consistency, environment, and addressing issues like snoring or waking frequently. Fourth, review your medications and diet carefully. Not just the obvious ones, everything. And fifth, move more frequently. Not necessarily intense exercise, but regular, gentle movement throughout the day. And this is where many people see change. Not overnight, but steadily. Let me say something important here. You are not stuck with high blood pressure simply because of age. Yes, age plays a role, but it is rarely the only factor. In fact, I've seen patients in their 70s make meaningful improvements once they understood what was actually influencing their numbers. Progress may be slower, but it is still possible. So if your blood pressure has been stubborn, don't assume it's beyond your control. Instead, take a step back. Look at the full picture, because often the answer is not in one dramatic change, but in addressing the small things that quietly add up. If this perspective helped clarify things for you, you can subscribe for more discussions like this. Calm, honest, and grounded in real clinical experience. Take care of your health patiently, consistently, and with understanding.